Happy Sunday, setters. Last week was very interesting. We saw some strong buying in the stock market. S&P 500, Nasdaq was up 2% or more on Friday alone. Why do people buy when the fundamental is so bearish? Stock is a very interesting asset class. A lot of people use the phrase of cheap and expensive on stock. When they see, say, for instance, Tesla has dropped to a certain level, it is very cheap now. Hey, but think about it, guys. Tesla went up to the moon from 2020 to 2021. Nobody thinks that's expensive, okay? So I would not use cheap or expensive on stock. So fundamentally, it is bearish. However, buying can be short-lived. There's a couple of key levels that I am paying attention to, which I'm going to share that in the chart. If you're not a member, you won't see my full details straight away. And it's very simple to join and free to join as well. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel and drop me a comment here, and I'll add you to our community for free. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to start off with the S&P 500. Daily, we are forming a very interesting reversal pattern. Head and shoulder, inverted head and shoulder. So we got the neckline around this 3,740 area. I like to see it breaks above the 3,800 monthly pivot, stay above. I could potentially be a short-term buyer back to this R1 under 4,000 area. Could be possible. It's not, even though in a bearish market we can have a bounce, it's not uncommon. When this happened, we had a stronger bounce. I don't think it's going to be as strong as that, but anything could happen. You see the 200 daily MAs there, R1 interaction. So 4,000 could be the destination. But hey, if it's a shorter term trade, 2 to 3 to 1, I'm happy with that. Okay. Moving on to Nasdaq. Nasdaq is similar. It's 4 hour. You can see it clearly. We have a inverted head and shoulder pattern. So I'm not going to buy because the monthly pivot is in the way. So I'll use that as a reference. If it breaks above, stay above, and then it could go to around 12,000 area. Okay. Dow Jones is trying to break already, trying to break resistance. You can see Friday broke off the Tuesday bar already, Wednesday, Thursday bar. So yeah, if it stay above this 30,500 area, could be short-term bullish to the stock market. How high can it go on Dow Jones? Yeah, it could be. I think there's still a couple of earnings report coming out next week, so watch out on that. European indices, I'm still bearish longer term. So on the DAX, German DAX, I like the 13,000 area, so a bit higher. And this just, yes, we have a daily uptrend, but it's just a weekly phase 2 in this case. So moving on to the French CAC, I'm still bearish. I'm just waiting to pull back a bit higher around this 6,200 area to sell, at least to the bottom channel anyway. Okay, that's all for the indices. Let's move on to the Forex. Dollar index first. Dollar index last week I said I wanted to be a buyer, which I did on euro dollar. I didn't make too much, only like £500-600. I'll show you why anyway. Now we're sitting on the monthly pivot. Can we find support, or could we break this through? We could break this through, doesn't matter. It won't change the overall picture. Around this 110 area, I still look to be a buyer. Euro dollar. What happened last week? So on Tuesday, when I saw this hanging man back to the trend line resistance monthly pivot, I wanted to be a seller, so I had a go to be a seller. And then so how do I sell it? Very, very simple. This triple top here, breakout. So it did, boom. And when it done that, and I was very plain defense, coming back here. And when I put my stop loss just here, so then boom, kicked out. So I only made a tiny bit on that. I didn't lose, but manage it accordingly. Now we are at the monthly pivot again. I think we will see a little bit higher. How much higher on that? little bit more room to around this 9940 area. Too little room for me to trade, so not going to trade that. Pound dollar. The British pound behavior is a little bit like our political issue at the minute. We could push a bit higher to this trend line here, but it's multiple resistance. We're sitting on 50 EMA trend line there, so too little room for me to buy, too early for me to sell. So I'm going to leave it alone for a bit until maybe the following week or end of the week anyway. Aussie and Kiwis on the list to sell. Aussie's probably a bit cleaner. I would wait for a pullback to this monthly pivot area around 66 to look for good price action to sell. Kiwi quite similar. We have a trend line resistance around this area 58. Look to be a seller then. Dollar yen is top on my list, but last week I said I didn't like the price action through here. This daily phase one was not very convincing. Now we got a reversal bar. Where to from here? We could see a bit of pullback to the 50 EMA around this just under 145 area, 144. Look for a good price action to go long. So yen is no reason for me to buy, so I still want to be a seller, and then I still want to be a buyer of dollar. So just being patient at the minute. Moving on to the commodity, start with gold first. We are now below this 1700 again, so where to? We could see a bounce, maybe back to this. So as long as price stay under 1700, I am happy to be a seller for gold. It's top of my list. Silver on the other hand, I said many times last couple of weeks, I am zero interest when it's ranging here. When it breaks below the 18, I will look to be a seller. Finally, cryptocurrency. Let's start off with Bitcoin first, shall we? So we said earlier we saw some bounce, like some buying activity in indices. Look at this. Sideways, not dropping, not buying, so I have zero interest. I think break below this 18,000, I'll look to be a seller on Bitcoin. Pop higher, still no clean area for me to sell. So for me, under 18,000 on that. Ethereum would be a bit better. I said many times last couple of weeks, this head and shoulder pattern has broken, so I would like to be a seller if you pull back to around 1500 area. Okay, so just coincide with this interaction and under the neckline area. So that's all for me for next week ahead. If you do have any question, do let me know. A recap is short term, I still could be a buyer on the indices, but longer term I am still bearish. Currency side, I don't want to trade too much phase two, so no interest to buy euro, no interest to buy pound or Aussie or yen or whatever it is. I still want to be a dollar buyer, but patience is required for a few days before the pullback happens. Cryptocurrency still long-term bearish, but it's trading sideways or needs some sort of things to happen, even break lower or bounce higher on Ethereum. If you do have any question, you can either drop me a comment on this video, or if you want to interact me directly, it's very simple. Join my community on Discord. Drop me a comment and then I will add you there for free. Okay? Otherwise, see you guys next week. Happy trading, healthy investing. Thank you.